In the closing seconds of the men's 100 meters final at the 2026 Paris Diamond League, the scoreboard at Stade Charléty showed a winning margin of just 1/100th of a second between the top two finishers. Trayvon Bromell crossed the line first in 9.91 seconds, ahead of Noah Lyles, who finished in 9.92 seconds. The result, recorded on June 28, 2026, marked Lyles' first defeat of the 2026 outdoor season and gave Bromell one of the biggest victories of his comeback. The meeting took place at Stade Charléty in Paris, France, during a weekend when an intense heat wave affected much of the country. Local authorities introduced special safety measures because of the unusually high temperatures, and several community athletics activities were canceled. The Diamond League meeting itself continued as scheduled, with elite athletes competing under managed conditions throughout the evening. Wind for the men's 100 meters final was recorded at plus 0.1 meters per second, providing almost completely still conditions for the race. The final featured one of the strongest sprint fields assembled anywhere during the 2026 season. Noah Lyles, the reigning Olympic champion in the 100 meters, arrived in Paris unbeaten outdoors that year. Olympic champion Lamont Marcell represented Italy, while South Africa's Akani Simbine once again entered as one of the most consistent sprinters on the international circuit. Jordan Anthony of the United States also qualified for the final after an impressive start to his season. Trayvon Bromell, the two-time World Championship bronze medalist, lined up in lane 8, determined to challenge one of the deepest fields of the year. Bromell's road back to the top had been anything but straightforward. Earlier in his career, he established himself as one of the fastest young sprinters in history by consistently running under 10 seconds. However, serious injuries interrupted his progress for several seasons and forced him to rebuild his career step by step. Rather than walking away from the sport, Bromell gradually returned to world-class competition. He was part of the United States team that won the men's 4x100 meters relay at the 2025 World Championships, and his indoor season in early 2026 also showed encouraging signs, including a bronze medal at the World Indoor Championships. By the time the Diamond League reached Paris, Bromell had once again become one of the athletes capable of defeating anyone in the world on the right day. Despite the difficult weather conditions, thousands of spectators filled Stade Charléty to watch one of the most anticipated meetings of the Diamond League calendar. The men's 100 meters remains athletics' shortest and most demanding event. Every phase of the race matters. Athletes must react instantly to the starting gun, accelerate efficiently through the opening meters, reach maximum speed in the middle of the race, and maintain that speed through the finish while naturally fighting fatigue. At this level, even the smallest mistake can decide the outcome. As the finalists settled into their starting blocks, the atmosphere inside the stadium became almost completely silent. Every athlete focused entirely on the lane ahead. Months of preparation would soon be tested in less than 10 seconds. When the starter fired the pistol, all 8 sprinters reacted quickly. Bromell produced a strong start and immediately placed himself among the leading runners. Through the opening half of the race, the field remained extremely close, with no athlete establishing a decisive advantage. Jacobs and Simbine stayed firmly in contention, while Lyles continued building speed as the race progressed. Approaching the final meters, Bromell maintained excellent form and continued driving toward the finish line. Lyles closed rapidly during the second half of the race, reducing the gap with every stride, but the finish arrived just before he could move ahead. The 4 leading athletes crossed the line separated by only fractions of a second, producing one of the closest sprint finishes of the Diamond League season. The official results confirmed Trayvon Bromell as the winner in 9.91 seconds. Noah Lyles finished second in 9.92 seconds, only 1/100th of a second behind. Lamont Marcell placed third in a season's best 9.96 seconds, while Akani Simbine finished fourth in 9.97 seconds. Jordan Anthony crossed the line fifth in 9.99 seconds, giving the race 5 athletes under the 10-second barrier. Ferdinand Omanyala of Kenya and Andre de Grasse of Canada shared 6th place in 10.102 seconds. while Jeremiah Azu of Great Britain finished 8th in 10.18 seconds. Remarkably, only 0.06 of a second separated first place from fourth. The quality of the race immediately attracted attention across the athletics world. Bromell's victory ended Noah Lyles' unbeaten outdoor run in 2026 and demonstrated once again how competitive men's sprinting had become. 4 of the world's leading sprinters finished within touching distance of one another, proving that even the slightest difference in execution could determine the winner. Speaking after the race, Lyles admitted that his start had not felt as strong as he had expected.
I was real poppy in the back, even in my practice start. I was expecting quite a lot more, to be honest.
Bromell, meanwhile, said he was pleased with his start and satisfied to secure valuable Diamond League points against such a strong field.
Great competitors, and just feel good to come out here and execute. My big expectation was just come out and win. Because at the end of the day, times are times, but you got to be able to run against a good field.
He also praised the level of competition, explaining that racing against the world's best athletes continues to push him toward higher performances throughout the season. For Bromell personally, the victory represented far more than another Diamond League win. It marked another important milestone in a comeback that has required years of persistence. Injuries had once threatened to derail his career, but performances like this demonstrated that he remained capable of defeating the biggest names in world sprinting, winning against athletes such as Noah Lyles, Lamont Marcell Jacobs, Akani Simbine, and Jordan Anthony highlighted both his experience and his ability to perform under pressure. The men's 100 meters was only one of several outstanding performances during the Paris Diamond League meeting. Armand Duplantis won the men's pole vault with a meeting record clearance of 6.13 meters before making 3 unsuccessful attempts at 6.32 meters, which would have surpassed his own world record. Botswana's Busang Colin Kebenachipi won the men's 400 meters in a Diamond League record 43.54 seconds, while Marilady Paulino claimed victory in the women's 400 meters with a world-leading performance. Switzerland's Audrey Wero also produced one of the highlights of the evening by winning the women's 800 meters in 1 minute 53.80 seconds, the 3rd fastest performance ever recorded in the event. The Paris meeting formed another important stop on the 2026 Diamond League calendar, with athletes continuing to collect points toward qualification for the Diamond League final later in the season. Bromell's victory ensured that the battle among the world's fastest men remained wide open, adding even more excitement to the remaining Diamond League meetings. If you enjoyed this race breakdown and want more verified track and field coverage from the biggest events around the world, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next major showdown.